Hey, I just want to take the time to say Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. And note that it doesn't take you to physically produce a child to consider yourself a father. You know, just the contribution to teaching and raising a child earns you that right. Despite of some of the women that come along and try to steal partial of this day from us by creating themselves mustaches and genitals to say they are a father or so. We know that's kind of strange. You can't have a sex change just for one day. And imagine us men saying, hey, happy Mother's Day to a man. That would be kind of awkward. So, you know, men don't take on that, you know, routine for yourself either. But basically what I'm trying to get to is the understanding that, you know, Father's Day is priceless. And in this video, I want to thank my daughter. And I know it's Father's Day, but what I'm trying to say is children have a right. And I want to talk to you, my daughter, if you're watching this, and say thank you, because having this day without the feeling, you allow me to have this day proudly. Without the feel of this day, it would just be a regular day. You know, and what I understand is that dealing with kids today, mentoring kids and all, it could be a matter of a kid have slightly a kiddish authority that could neglect you of being a father. So I want to really thank, you know, my daughter and her mother for not participating in acts that, you know, perform separation of a dad and their kid, you know, for boycotting the system that was made to separate a man from their kid, from boycotting the sex change for a day type of event, you know, that just put men down. And, you know, personally, my daughter, you know, I understand that you could have ran away. You could have found another to be your father. You could have just rebelled and listened to the people that say that I was too hard on you or so. But you didn't. You stayed fast. And what that allowed me to do is be a father. And now I have a resume of a father because of you. And that is the reason why I want to take this time out to thank you for that. Now, along another lines, for all that this belongs to, I want to suggest that most of you parents give your kids decisions. If you don't have a dad for them, do not train their minds to neglect the biological dad. Practicing and exercising 2 and 3 dads is polygamy. And polygamy only transferred to relationships and spirituality. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying to you that there is only one God. There's no such thing as a substitute. God can't be replaced. And take the time to utilize events of so father figures or dads to understand. Because hypothetically speaking, if you're in a relationship and every relationship you enter, you want your kid to call that guy dad, you have to determine or consider evaluating how long your relationships last. Because if it's 8 months, hypothetically, I'm going to emphasize that. If it's only 8 months, you're training your kid to expect and accept a new dad every 8 months. Who wants that in their life? We're looking for stability. So what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate this day the way it's supposed to be. Happy Father's Day to every father. Fathers that don't have kids that contribute to raising and spending their time with kids in a precious way. Let's celebrate Happy Father's Day for men. Not half men, men.
I remember when you used to take